Hey designers, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Webflow for Designers. In this video, we're going to go over get started in Webflow, which is understanding Webflow frameworks, setting up a style guide, and web development best practices. And in the past videos, we've covered building developers mindset, design tutorial, and now we're here. So if you've not watched that, check it out there. And this is the final site we'll be building. I'll put it on the screen so you can check it out, the final site. So if you're interested in doing that, follow me and I'll guide you through the whole process of achieving that final result. So let's get into it. Okay, so now this is the Webflow frameworks, the common Webflow frameworks out there. Of course, we have more than this, but these are the common ones out there: Client First, Lumos, and Mast. Well, I'd like to show you every single one of them. I think it's best if we talk about the one that is most important for you if you're getting started, and the one I recommend you start with, basically, which is Client First. Client First is beginner friendly, it's easy to understand, doesn't require much knowledge of CSS. If you're a designer, you can really link it up to designing a Figma too. But for the rest, Lumos and Mast, this require other advanced CSS knowledge. Like you need to know about Tailwind CSS, you need to know about so many other concepts that even some experts might not be so good at, because it's all about mental models. So it's what you practice that you get better at. So for now, since you're a designer, I'll recommend you start with Client First, and I'll give you a quick walkthrough of how Client First works, and then we'll now make a style guide using Client First. With that said, so this is Client First. To get the clonable, you just come over here. And in fact, I've made a video on my channel in the past about Client First. If you don't know, it will come up on screen so you can check it out. But besides that, let's keep going. What challenges do we have to organize project, maintain name? And these are the major benefits of Client First. Like you can organize, you can structure your colors, you can structure your classes, you can structure file folders and the likes. And I'm saying this because let's cancel it. Let's go over to the last one we did. So this is the building website. And when we built this website, if you remember, we had this style guide we put here. So this is the button component, this is the typography, this is the color. This is exactly what I did in Client First. Exactly this. You're basically putting out the major things you've used in your design. Like, okay, I use an heading, I use this text color, I use this text color, this, and this is what you're putting in Client First. And so if I show you the final site again, this is how we're working on finally. So this is how we're working on. And if you see this, the text color, every single thing is there, keeping in mind so that I don't know what to use right now, but I hope you're getting me. The concept is that you have to keep all the styles in mind, so when you're building it in Webflow, it's going to be easier for you. And that's what we're doing in Client First, basically. And I think I've said Client First enough times that you should get what I'm trying to say. So the main concept of Client First is what I will be showing you now. Read the docs. Let's read the docs. What's going on? Okay, learning part. There's a learning part. If you want to learn Client First, but I want to show you the course structure. This is what you need to understand. This is main thing. If you can get this, it's going to be easier. Of course, I'll explain later on, but just want to give you a broad overview first. So now, in Client First, we have a body. Now, I don't know, if you've done this before, you may not understand this. We have a body, we have a page wrapper, main wrapper. Then in the main wrapper, we now have each section. So we have section home header. In each section, we have a padding global, container large, and whatever goes in there. The next section will be section home about. Next section home. It doesn't have to be named this way. You can name it any way you want it, but for organization purposes, it's better you follow their framework and law, so you would be able to collaborate with others. So let's assume now you build something in Webflow, but because nobody understands how you name it, nobody can come in there and edit what you did. But if you're following the naming structure, someone can come in like, oh bro, I understand, the mistake you made was under section home about. So to fix it, just use the flexible set of grid. And for that, you're done already. But because your naming system is very confusing, so someone that wants to help you out or collaborate with you will be confused as well. And since Webflow is a collaborative platform, it's important to keep these things in mind so people that want to collaborate with you will understand what you did. Yeah, that's basically it. So there's a page wrapper, then there's main wrapper, and the page wrapper goes first, then the main wrapper goes there next. And in the main wrapper, the page wrapper is it's like you just wrap the whole section of the page inside. Sometimes you even keep your nav bar in the page wrapper, not the main wrapper. But you know what? I'm seeing so many wrappers now. I don't know if you're getting it because there's no examples I'm showing you. So let's leave this alone, and I'll leave the link to this in the newsletter so you can check it out and read more about it. I'll also leave a write-up in the newsletter about this too. So you might have read it already. If not, if you've not read it and you're not in the newsletter for this course, check this one below. You join there. With that said, let's get started with Webflow, which is the next thing, which is setting up the style guide. Let's get started. Client first. Let me show you something. So I've talked about this client first already. After the docs is here. If you want to get a clonable, you come over here, get a clonable. It takes you to the Webflow showcase website, and this is it. More than 63.5k clones, and you can clone it. To clone it, just create sites. You can call it, you can rename it to clients. So okay, I even have a client first style guide or framework. Client first, and you create it. So now we wait for it to load. So now, on a good note, we can get started with this. With this page, just cancel everything that's here and get started, which is okay. I'm going to show you the style guide here, and this is the style guide. You have a structure, you have this, and what you're going to do as a designer, you're going to edit this. Now, before we do that, I opened a new Webflow page here, which is the Webflow designers page. So I want to show you a trick where you can copy a style guide from one page to another, so you can have the client first style guide remaining on your dashboard while you can create a new file to work on other projects, so you won't have to use the same thing there. So remember, this is the project we built with the last time, and yeah, so we're going to cancel everything we've done here, come over here to the style selector and clean all the styles, so there's no more style saved there. There's also no more pages saved there, so this is the home page and there's nothing else. What we're going to do now, we're going to create a new page called style guide, and we're going to save it as draft. Over there, then we'll come to this client for style guide here too as well, and we'll come here. If you notice now, there's no class on the body, so come here, copy from the page wrapper, copy. I've copied it, didn't tell us anything, it's normal, and you paste it here. Voila, you've pasted all the style guide. And the thing for pasting cross-site link, we've added only components. Yeah. So in client first now, in the main client first, you'll see that there are components here like global styles. What else? That's the major component that I can think of right now. Let's see. Global styles, 2 instances, navbar, 2 instances. And yeah. But the global style, and when you come over here to the one you copied it to, the global style was unlinked. And what's in global style is basically like some styles client first uses just to, honestly, I don't know what they are for, but they just help your design look good to an extent. So it's not important to use them, but when you use them, they tend to act well. That's all I can say right now. So you can just leave them there. You can also make it back a component. So create component again and just call it global style. Global styles, yeah. And create. And that's it, it's done. So you can leave it the way it is now, and let's go back to what we're doing. We can even close this one. We can close this, we don't need anymore, because like our default style guide where we'll be keeping our, we'll be duplicating from there next time. Now next thing is, what are we going to work on? If you look at this body style here, you can see the text that is 14 is Arial and likes. But if you look at our own Figma here, let's go after the building website. This website we built. Look at typography. What's our typography? Our font is Sans Serif Pro. Our paragraph text is this paragraph regular. Let's see what I wrote there. It is 16 pixels, Sans Serif Pro. We also have Inter 16 pixels. Yeah, I don't know why I got 16. But yeah, this 16 pixels, right? Overall, these are the styles we have here, and we're going to convert these styles all the way to Webflow with the color styles too. These are the main colors we'll be using. These ones are just like I can call it peripheral, I guess. So I'm talking a lot. Let's get to work. Page wrapper. All these ones now you can leave it the way it is. No, there's no style on page wrapper. It's just there, just to help with the semantics. Main wrapper, just there, just to help. You can have a look at it here too. So this is the page wrapper there, And if you come over, okay, there's no main wrapper here, but there are other styles that FinnSuite also uses. Padding global, container large. This is basically how you build in Webflow in Webflow as well. I don't know if they put section here. Okay, they didn't. Never mind. Let's continue. This is the style guide from FinnSuite. Client for style guide from FinnSuite. And as you can see, there are multiple styles here. There are multiple predefined styles here. And what we just need to do is to edit them before we use them. And yeah, it's not hard. And we don't even need to edit every single thing. We just edit the one we need. And later on, as we're building, we can now decide to edit specific ones to suit our needs. For example, now I hardly use spacer in my own designs. I don't like them. I prefer using flexbox. But once in a while, flexbox or padding, once in a while I use them, but it's not often at all. So these are the things. You don't need to do every single thing oh my god, I need to do it now. No, don't need to worry about that. Just start. And when you start, you can move on from there. Now let us go back to the top. So let's go back to the top. And let's start with the headings. First things first, we need the right font. So come over to the body, and you see this body all pages. That means when it is purple or when it is pink, that means it's going to show blue, and you can edit the fonts that we have here. Now you can see the fonts are changing, but the font we're looking for is Sans Serif Pro and Inter. We don't have that here, so we're going to come here to add fonts. Oh my god, my mouth hot already. Select Google Fonts, so we're going to come here to Sans Serif for so now this is where you start to think okay, what are these numbers? What are they? The numbers that you're seeing here is basically how they are. It's basically their weight. So if you come over here to Figma now, when you see, let me give you an example. Sorry, let me duplicate it. When you see this example, this is text style semi-bold. So duplicate, Ctrl A. So now this is semi-bold. This will be, let's call this medium, let's call this regular, let's call this also regular, light. After semi-bold, what goes there again is going to be what? Bold. As you can see, they're the same text, but it's just different weights. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick the ones we're going to use in the design. So if you look at the design now, what's the common weight we're using? For Sans Serif, we're going to use semi-bold. We don't go past semi-bold. Normally we use regular. So regular and semi-bold. Now, if regular is 400, so regular 400, regular, that means medium is 500. This is how you can do it. 500 medium, and that means semi-bold is 600 semi-bold. I made a typo here, and that is 700. What is that? What's 700? Bold. This is just a rule of thumb to use. If you don't want to do this process, you can also go on Google and just type in font weight style, which I can do for you, but I don't distract us, so let's skip to this. Later on, I can always show you that. In the meantime, let's pick it. So we have, what are the ones we have in Figma? I've forgotten again, so let's check it. We have semi-bold, we have regular, those are the major ones, and we have this bold, semi-bold. So we have basically semi-bold and regular mostly. So we're going to pick, sorry, that is the wrong file. So semi-bold and regular. So regular, medium, semi-bold, 600. and we don't have any bold. So these are the only two things we need, surprisingly. So if you don't want to optimize for performance, only take the fonts you need exactly. And since this is all we need, let's stick with that. So now you go add fonts. So Serif Pro. Now we can add another font again. Inter, regular, semi-bold. That's it. So add fonts, Inter. Then we can go back to designer. So let's see now. So if you come back to body all pages, and we choose this, can we change the font from? Okay, we have Inter, as you can see. So let me take you to this Arial, and we have Inter all over here. This is the Inter font. Where is the source serif? This source serif font too. So, but since source serif is the most common font we're using, we're going to use it as the main style. And we'll now come over here. Just now, I don't think I've explained what this body alt tags mean. So, for example, now if you come over to the body and you style it, you can change it to like body, and yeah, you can do many things with that. You can change the font you bring to. Everything will change. But now I'm changing it on this body, which is wrong. So we're gonna go back and remove that body. But now let's assume I want to go back here again. Let's assume you go into this body all pages. What this does is that it's going to change the body on all pages, the default body style on all pages. That's what we're going to change here, and that's important. And normally Webflow has its own default styling, and it's 14 pixels there. They continue to 16. They continue to 1 rem, and what rem is basically 16 pixels. You can convert it using a rem calculator online. But they say whatever you have in pixels divided by 16 is rem. So if you have 16 divided by 16, that's 1 rem, 16 pixels. I just did there. You can use the point notation system, so 1.1 there, and that's what I do. This is what I like doing normally. So this is my default styling generally. But now let's stop talking and let's go on into styling the H1. As you can see, now this is H1. This is heading style 1. You'll be confused like, oh, what's the difference? H1. No, they're both H1 text. As you can see, they're both H1 text, but the styling are different. And the idea for this is that we want all H1 to have the style, but then if we have another element that has the H1 style, but we don't give it H1, we can give it a text block, then not give it heading style 1. So that's the main idea there. So now let's look at Figma. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make this bigger so I can be swiping like this. So now the heading style 1 is what? Heading style 1 is 40 pixels. Okay, 40 pixels heading. So let's come over here. All heading. Note that, very important. All heading, and we'll go here to type and we'll call it 40 pixels. 40 divided by. You can comment. I'm using a plugin, an extension that will help me solve that faster. 40 divided by 16 rem. Sorry, typo, rem, 2.5 rem. Now, if I have a plugin on my laptop, on my browser, that helps me get rem faster, but I'll show you that in a second. Let me just style this correctly. This is normal semi-bold. What do we use here? Regular. Okay. This is this semi-bold too. Okay, so body is 40 pixels. And for mobile, what do we have for body? Body mobile is 32. So let's do that now. So we have 40 pixels. We can go into mobile. This, and we'll change it to from 2.5 rem is 40. 32 pixels is 32 divided by 16 rem is 2 rem. Now you can see now this spacing is different because it's still using the same 44 pixels. What I like to do for things like this is that I use point notation system. So 1.1 there, and that means on all page size now it's going to remain the same spacing all through. So this is something to keep in mind. It's just 1.1. You can type that, then you press the dash space. So give it just set that value, or you can do it here manually. Just choose this. These are multiple values you can use: rem, m, percent. But this is what I like to use. It is scalable and it's responsive. Talking a lot again. Let's go. So this heading style one, this heading now is something we'll now use here. This heading style one, I also use here. So we'll come here to 40. That's 2.5 rem. Heading style 1.1. Move over here to this. As you can see, what do we use here? We use 2 rem. We change it to 2, and that's it there too. Voila, you're done with heading style 1 with H1, and go here to H2 too. So it's basically what you're going to do for the main styles in your page. So luckily we have only H1, H2, H3. We don't need H4 in this design. In other designs you might need it, but for this ones you don't. You get that? You don't need it here. So now come over to edit H2. What's the time? Okay, past 12. H2 is 32 pixels, and all over here is H2. So the H2 is same on all page sizes. Now this is uncommon. It's not common that you see a H2 being the same from desktop to mobile, but in this design it is. So that's the thing. It's contextual based on your design. That's what you're going to do here. Don't follow any add and fast rule. What your design say? What looks aesthetic? What looks pleasing? What makes sense? Keep those things in mind. So come over, you tap here H2, make sure it's pink. Then I can change it to 32 pixels. That's 2 rem. Same thing. Make it 1.1 induction system. Yeah. And for the H2, let us style 2. You can come over again 2 rem. And now if you come over here and go to your mobile, oh, it doesn't change. Sorry. Yeah, it remains the same. So surprisingly, the H2 is 32 pixels on mobile too. So that's good. On desktop, this is 1.1, 1.2. Okay, that's cool. Something is off. I'm supposed to change the font style to enter. I forgot that. If you notice, what I use there is enter. Enter is the H2. So we're going to go back to this H2. Go to the old H2 styling. Come over to font. Change to enter. And for the style, we're going to choose normal. Over here too, we're going to choose normal. This doesn't look so good, but just bear with me for a second. We're going to change the capitalization to. I forgot to. So that's a mistake. If you mistakenly forget to turn this thing on, it will only affect this style, and it affects your styling process, which will affect your productivity in Webflow. So keep those things in mind. Now let's go to H3. Let's be fast. H3, it is 40 pixels too. So in the mobile is different 24. So you can see mobile, this one remains 40, this one goes to 24. There's also differences to keep in mind. So H3 now, come over here. Sorry, I forgot something. H3 40 pixels. That's 2.5. That's 1.1. Yeah. We're giving it normal or semi-board. Let's go semi-board. Yeah, semi-board. And for mobile, we're going to give it 24 divided by. So I made a typo somewhere. 24. That's 1.5 rem exactly, and 1.5 rem is that. So if you come over to desktop again and you want to edit the heading style 3, come over here, you give it 40. It's 1.2. It doesn't really matter much, and we'll give it yeah, it's taking the style from 1.5 rem. Yeah, it's okay, but now we don't need H4, we don't need H5, we don't need H6. This is why I recommend that you can delete it. You don't need it at all, or you can leave it alone. It will not affect what you're doing at all. So most times I leave it alone. I don't just delete everything because you never know, like if there's any change in design. Yeah, just leave it the way it is. Later on, if we make a new tutorial series for a new, more advanced Webflow interaction, I can show you how to build your own style guide from scratch. But most times I just recommend you follow something like this. So now look at the paragraph now. What's the paragraph here for this? Body text large 24 pixels. For 24 pixels, body text large. So body text large 24, 1.5 rem. That's the. What else? Text size large, 1.5 rem. Size medium. This is 20 pixels. But for medium, I think we're using. This is regular. We don't really have a medium text, so yeah. What else again? Regular is 1 rem. Yeah. So we don't need this medium. We don't need small. We don't need tiny. We don't use this in the design. So these are the things. Sometimes you don't really use all these things that are gonna like as a styling here. It's just okay to keep in mind that for next time. Yeah. So you have bold, semi-bold, maybe X bold, bold, semi-bold. These are things you don't need to touch them at all. They're already defined here. For button style too, the button, if you notice in the design here, we don't really have much buttons. There's only button we have, which is over here. The rest are more or less like what should I call it? They're more or less interactions and link blocks. So no need to worry about buttons right now. And what else? Colors now. Colors, these are important. Text colors. Yeah. I think what we first need to do is text color primary. Is that if you can cheat, this is a way to cheat again. Just cheat, come over here to the body or pages. What's the default color you need? 333. So what's the default color you need for your design? Almost all texts have almost all texts have this color here. OE. I think it's not really important, but like this is another thing you can do. If you don't want to like follow their ways, you can just like come over to body or pages, give all the text this color, and you can see now all the color of the text are changing. They're this color now by default. You can see they got it from the inherited from the body or pages. That's a trick you can do. Now when you now come to text colors, now you can now say body primary. What's the primary color for your body? Honestly, our major colors are black and white or gray and white. So you can just like call this one body primary, and you can give it this too. That's one. But color secondary. What's secondary color? The other most color is this one here, which is 4D, which is what I used there. 4D. Yeah, so we can use that too. 4D. So that's it. And then color alternate is what? White, which is the white that we've used so far in the rest. Most of the time you might not use these colors, but it's important to set because for body primary color now, it already has the white. Any text that's inside it is going to be white. These are the style that is there. So anytime you use, for example, let me just show you something. Let's change it. So this is body color primary. If I come over here and I style this background here, so I call it background body color primary. The text changes to white. If I go back, text changes to black. So these are some styles like it's not important, but it's good to set it, just for in case. Yeah, I'm almost done. Sorry that I'm talking so much. I just want to explain this thing to you so you guys understand very well. So body color primary now. And these are the main colors we're going to choose from here. So let's be fast. Background color change. Good. Secondary background color. We're going to use black so far. So we can call this brand. Take this one. No, we don't need that one. Do we? No, we don't. Okay, we can use black here, but we can use this brand over there. I doubt we'll use that there, but just for the sake of it, let's put it there. Body background secondary. We don't need tertiary because we don't have it. Instead, for this alternate color that is white. So on that white, what's the color of the text? If you notice 4D and the legs. So you can come over here to dark text on white, 4D. So that's the default black text on white, which is not compulsory. It is that way. It's meant to be that way, bro. Yeah. So that's that. And so that's it now. We have max width, max height, padding. These are padding that In a way, funnily, like if you look at this padding large now, what do you see here? 3M, 3M, 3M. That means 3 times 16 is what? 48. That means you have 40 pixels on all sides. Most of this time, you will not use these things, really, you won't. But it's helpful to have, and you cannot adjust it later to fit your own styling, So, just finish with half padding here, or you can just create your own padding, With time, you'll figure out what you like to do. For me now, I don't really use all of these things. I just use what I need, which is the mostly text and the spacing and all the other stuff. Yeah, so yeah, we're done. Let's go on. So this is home, and yeah, we've done the styling, right? So I think this is 35 minutes. In the next video, which is also coming out hopefully today, but you should see the next video coming up on the screen here. We'll start with Webflow. We're going to work on the hero section. From the hero section, we're going to work on the body. From the body, work on the project section, then the testimonial section, then the footer. That means hero, about, project, testimonial, footer. I'm sure 5 videos left. And each of these videos, we're going to have sections where we're going to do with animation, custom code, and the likes. So if you're excited for this as I am, please check it out and let's get into it. For now, I apologize, this video is very long. I want to help you understand this as easy as possible. So, yeah, before you run away, there's one more thing I want to show you. That's Webflow best practices. I mentioned that we'll talk about best practices. I just realized I was going to talk about it. So, sorry, what just happened? Best practices. So these are things I will mention in the newsletter. But for you to see now, so best practices, only use one H1 per page. Like I told you so I'll be showing you examples. This is a good scenario to show you examples now. So for example, now we have this H1 here. As you can see, this is the H1, all H1 tag, this is it here. Don't have more than one H1. If you have an element that is the same style as the H1, use this one. So you can call it, so let me give you an example. Let's bring a text block. This is a text block. So I am a text that looks like the H1. What are you gonna do? This is the agent style 1. It's same style as the H1, and you can come over here and give it heading style 1, and it looks like the H1. No issues, because this H1 holds a semantic value. Google looks for it when it's being ranked. So only have one H1. It can be the smallest thing there, it can be the biggest thing there, but only have one H1. Deal? Good. Next thing to note is utilize CSS inheritance. For example, now, so let's cancel this. CSS inheritance. Remember what I told you about when I changed the whole font and the whole page to source serif, and I can make them inter. So let me just give you an example. So these are all the H1s. These are all the text styles here. What's this? What font is this? Inter. Okay. These are all the text styles here. If I come here to body, all pages, and if I change it to inter, you see the font changes. This is inheritance. They are all native from the body. So in CSS, when you're writing in code, actually, you can go to the root value and say body asterisk body inter asterisk body source serif, and that means all that fonts are going to use in that project is going to be that font you chose. Exactly. So these are scenarios where you can like just set the default styling and not worry about it, rather than in every new project and not say, okay, this is the font I want. These are the ways you can be more productive in Webflow by just having default styling in place. So we've talked about this. Optimize images. So in the coming videos I'll show you how to optimize images better, but for now there are several websites I recommend. So let me just open the website there. So compress PNG online. This is one. So this is what you just do. You just add your image here to compress it, and you just install it to. You just add it to your Webflow project. Also, Webflow defaultly reduces image size, but most of the time, if your image is like 15 MB, 1 MB, 1 point something MB, all these things, if you use them in your project, they'll be taking space, which affects the performance of the website. So if you just want to like reduce the size of an image, a video, or something, or to keep these things in mind, you can reduce them. So I have this project. Let me show you. I have this app called Optimage. I found it online. It's actually paid. well, I'm using the free trial, and you can optimize your image directly from your laptop. So it's that's one thing you can try out there. What else? Sorry, optimizing with semantic HTML. So I've mentioned the H1. Only use one H1. The H2 similar. You can use multiple H2s. You can use multiple H3s, but must have only one H1. And in terms of semantics too. So for example, now when I design in Webflow, I like to use things like. So if you come over to the tab here, you can see section. You can see container. You can see div over here basically. I like to use section, which is not important, but this section is up to SEO. So if you come over to settings now, it is edit tags section. You can change. If you come over here, if most people use regular div, so this is a div. If you come over here, it's a div. This is about div, but you can change the section to what? You can make it a nav. You can make it a what's it called? A footer. These are things that helps Google just organizing your page. Like, oh, this is the footer. This that. This is not important, but if you do it, it helps with your styling. Most times, the one I normally use is section of footer probably. By default, if you notice now, let's say you want to add a nav bar. This nav bar by default, the styling is where is it? If you tap on it, nav bar. So I can't even style it. So that means that by default has been styled already. I just wanted to check it out for you guys, but apparently it has been styled already. So that's that. What else? Class naming and reusability. Like I said earlier, don't just pick a style like, oh, I'm designing on this section, so this heading 1, div block 2, this. No, name it well. So look at your design very well. What's going to be common among every single thing? Okay, I'm going to call this FAQ home 2, section FAQ home 2. And when you go to the next page again and you need that same thing, you call it there, and that way you have the same class, choose the multiple areas of your page. Now this can cause issues like if you use the same class multiple times. If you change it to one place, it's changed in other places too. If you don't want that, then you have to keep that in mind. But most times this is what you want, where if you change something in the class, everything changes, and that way you don't need to wrap your brain when you're making little changes, because everything changes all over. That CSS frameworks like Lumos and Mass, this is even more needed. It's very important, because if you don't understand CSS reusability, you can't even use them very well. So this is what I'm teaching you clients first, to give you the basics, ease you into it. With time you learn that these are very important styling, and all it takes is practice. The more you practice, the more you get your hands on it, the more you realize that, oh, this is actually easy, this is what you can do. Yeah. And rems, not pixels. So like I told you about so let me, for some reason I'm always closing this tab, so you know what, it's okay. Rems to pixels, so there's a converter, not calculator. Let's calculate like, so remember I told you that 16 is 1, 16 pixels is 1. If you have 48 is 3. You're basically dividing by 16. That's how it is, And this is what you can do if you want to calculate it. There's also an inbuilt calculator in Webflow if you install the FinSuite plugin, I guess. But what I normally use is this Lumos extension for Webflow. This is made by Timothy Riggs. So this is it here. So I think I should copy the link and add it to the project folder. Okay. Yeah, so this thing was really the person that developed it. It's a Chrome extension. Yeah, I don't use the whole thing, honestly. I don't know Lumos very well to that level. What I use it for is that when you press whatever you're looking at, okay, 48 pixels, 48, and press spacebar, it will immediately turn into rem. So I use that and I like it that way. So there are other things you can get from there, and responsiveness too. Since we don't go delve into responsiveness, and about responsiveness too, we've not delved into it fully. So I would recommend that in the next video when we talk about it, you'll see that there. But for now, responsiveness is basically designing for like desktop, mobile, and the likes. So I think it's best if I just go to my Webflow back again. Webflow. You know what? So the main principle is that if you remember what I showed you over here, the style guide, when I was designing the homepage, and when I was designing the heading style one, remember we did. So this is for the H1. How does it look like? This is already 2.5 rem. For the tablet, was it 2.5 rem too? For the mobile landscape, was it 2 rem? In fact, we changed it here. And when you go back to, if you now go to mobile, it's 2 rem. So how it works is that at the top, the one that controls all the sizing everywhere on the page is the desktop. Then the more you move to the right hand side, that's over here. If you change it in tablet, it will change. If you change it in mobile landscape, it will change. In mobile, it will change. But first, you have to change. If you start with here, then go down. And whatever you change up here will change that all the way down. Whatever you change here will change all the way down, but it's not changed back up. Whatever I change here will change all the way down, but it's not changed back to the last two. Whatever you change here, it will remain there. I can even go forward. So again, you can bring in bigger desktop sizing, which I don't use. I don't like using bigger spacing. Just use for the default user. Don't worry about all the big people that use how many 7 or 1920 or whatever big screen they have there. Design for the default user before you worry about those that can resize their screen to make it look nice. I guess that's what I would say. So that's that. So regarding accessibility and performance, you have to remember that you want to optimize your images, you want to reduce the size of the videos you add to the page, you want to reduce the use of custom code as much as possible. Sometimes this is inevitable when you're working on some projects, but I recommend, if you want to use custom code, use CSS. Don't use JavaScript. There's some things that you can do with CSS that you don't need JavaScript for, but because you don't know, that's the reason. And performance, optimize the images. Basically, these are the things you also keep in mind. Use area labels. So some areas now where you have a link block that doesn't do anything. Someone that's blind will try using it and will be confused, like, what's this here, But you can use an area label, so like area, and you just tell you what it is. It's a decoration, it's this, it's that. I think you can read more about that for under accessibility in Webflow. I'll add a link. I'll look for a link and share it with you guys. So that's what I can say right now. I hope this was helpful for the 7 minutes. Wow. I really hope someone watches this to the end, and I hope it's valuable. Just want to give you an overview of how Webflow works. In the next videos, we're working on the area section. Well, definitely the meat of things, and it's going to be more enjoyable than this. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one. Bye.